Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at another game in our 20 from the Atari 2600 or VCS series, and this is game number 9. And this was a fantastic port of an arcade classic by Williams in 1981, which was the sequel to Defender, and that was, of course, Stargate, or also known as Stargate 2, and this is Stargate. And this was later known as Stargate, or Defender 2. But this was released for the Atari 2600 in 1984 by Atari and Bill Aspromonte. And it's a terrific port. It definitely feels a lot more like the arcade version than the Atari 2600 Defender was. One thing that kind of sucks, this is a double joystick game. I don't know how you're going to be able to control both joysticks with just one player, so it kind of has to be a two-player cooperative play. With the left joystick, you move your ship and fire, and with the right joystick, you push left on the joystick to do hyperspace, and I do not recommend using that at all. That sucks. You can often hyperspace right onto an enemy or just blow up. I would not use it. But you can press to the right on that right joystick to use what's called Inviso, and this lets you be invisible for a couple seconds. You are invisible to the enemy, and you are invisible to yourself as well, so you need to shoot to be able to see where you're at. And then the button on the right joystick fires the smart bombs. And you, of course, have limited, very limited use of the smart bombs. Well, we'll get started in just a sec here. But it even has the opening sound effect from Defender. Just the sound effects are great. And this is, like I said, a fantastic port. I really like this. The basic gameplay is the same as Defender. The little lander guys, the landers, are going to try to steal humanoids off the face of your planet. They're the little purple things that I just saved there. And you can shoot the lander while it's carrying one. And you can catch the lander in midair and deposit it on the ground. Or if it's not very far above the surface when it drops, when you shoot the lander, then you can let it fall and touch the surface, and it'll be safe. And you get more points for the more humanoids that are left. Now there is a trick. Excuse me. There, I used a smart bomb. You can hear a little yip sound, and that'll indicate that there is a humanoid that is being stolen. There are other enemies. There is mutant, which is if the landers successfully take away a humanoid, they will merge into the humanoid and turn into a mutant, and it will attack you. You get an extra life every 10,000 points, and you get an extra smart bomb every 10,000 points. Other enemies are the Elabian space guppies. And that's one just above me. There are fire bombers, and they are these spinny looking things. There are dynamos. There are baiters that attack if you take too long on the stage. And there are Freds, P-H-R-E-D-S, that are squares, and then there's little C's that are called the munchies. And they are followers of Freds. There's a Fred right there. And there are pods that will split up to make little smaller enemies come out of them and shoot them. I never really got into the arcade version of this. I didn't even get into the arcade version of Defender. I thought they were too hard, too complicated. But this is a fantastic port, I'm not gonna lie. That Stargate that we saw earlier, that will warp you to whatever closest lander is trying to steal a humanoid. And there is a special trick in Stargate. If you collect a bunch of humanoids... I couldn't quite reach him in time. He splattered on the surface. But if you collect a bunch of humanoids from picking them up in midair, and there I use my Inviso, you can collect... if you collect at least 4 of them, and then bring them all to the Stargate all at once, then you will warp 4 stages or 4 waves. There's that stupid Vader. I'm taking a little too long. Saved him. Yeah, if the baiter's on your tail, you can hide a little bit underneath the surface and avoid his shots. Oh, crap. I almost beat the stage. Every 5th wave, you will face the Elabian dogfight, and after that, every 10th wave. After that. And the Elabians are... I showed you what those look like. They're just like that. And that is a play on the name Bally. It's Bally backwards. Elab. And Bally was a competitor of Williams at the time. But on every 10th wave and thereafter, you will face only fire bombers, or almost only fire bombers. It'll be a special wave. But yeah, if you can collect 4 humanoids, oh crap! I shot the humanoid. You don't want to do that. If you collect, damn it! If you collect at least 4 humanoids from the baiters that, or the landers that can drop them if they're trying to steal them, and you shoot them, collect 4 of them all at once and take them to the Stargate, then you will warp 4 stages or 4 waves. And if you have 10 or more at once, and that's really freaking hard to do, and take them through the Stargate, then you will get 1-ups. You get a bonus for the humanoids that are left, and for each wave number that you're on, you will get times 100 points for each, and it will go up to 500 points for each maximum. And if you have all your humanoids stolen, then the planet will explode, and you will face a whole bunch of mutants. That really sucks. I accidentally used my smart bomb there. Whoops. If you're gonna play this in an emulator, you'll want to set it up so the controls are easiest for you, because default it's gonna suck trying to use 2 controllers at once. So I set them up on the same control pad, and it was a lot easier. I did not use my Inviso nearly enough on this game. I'm sure that's a great big help, and I didn't use it like I should have. But even though I'm not a big fan of Stargate, whoops, I've got to say this is a fantastic port. This is so much better than the original game Defender was for the Atari 2600. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great by any means. But that's Stargate, released for the Atari 2600 in 1984, and later under the name Defender 2 by Atari and Bill Aspromonte. And here we're going to have a quick look at me collecting enough humanoids to be able to warp. And like I said, you need at least 4. You catch them, and don't deposit them on the ground. Just keep collecting them. And we'll scoot forward to me getting the 3rd and 4th ones, and then going through the Stargate. Oh, that was close. you enjoyed your weekend. There's 4 of them, and now I just got to go to this Stargate. And there we go. See, I get a nice big warp to wave 4. Now let's real quick. This is wave 10 with the fire bombers. It's a specialty wave. It's a little easier than the other waves because you don't have to worry about the humanoids on these. And here's you losing the planet because you lost all the humanoids, and now you have to face a lot of mutants. There's some smart bombs being used there. And this is a quick frying trick. It just makes graphical differences. I don't know that you can change the difficulty by setting it to A, the A difficulty switch. And there's no game variations in this. Kind of weird looking. Well, that was Stargate by Atari and Bill Aspromonte in 1984 for the Atari 2600. Game number 9. Well, I will catch you later with game number 8. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.